Hey, Jonathan, the Ghostbusters trailer came out.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, come over.
All right, let's see. A few years awaited. Well, okay. I'm not mad.
That was okay. We'll see how it turns out.
Hey, don't judge a book by its cover.
That could be fine.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Hey, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Ethan.
And we're here to review the new supernatural comedy thriller, the remake of Ghostbusters.
This is a remake. No, this is a reboot.
Yes.
Hard reboot.
Hard reboot.
There is no continuation. Don't let them fool you. Reboot. Hard reboot.
I was kind of sad when I heard that. But speaking of which, let's jump into a little bit of the precursor stuff that's been happening before this movie.
Sure. What followed before this movie?
Well, as soon as production of this movie happened and it was revealed that the new Ghostbusters would be a team of women, there was a really big outrage. Like, oh,
Absolutely.
what the heck?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, we have to make everything for women now.
This is dead on arrival. This will never be successful. This will not be a good movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. I mean, even if you saw the approval rating on YouTube for the first trailer, it's drastically low.
Yeah,
I was looking
absolutely.
at it.
I believe it was the most disliked movie trailer on YouTube at the time, or at least ever, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's ever. It's crazy.
But yeah, this definitely had some expectations to break and to live up to for some people. I don't know, Jonathan. What do you think about all this?
Well, now that I've seen the movie,
right? What can you report?
It's fun.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way to describe it. It's fun. To me, it was a little bit of a mixed bag.
Okay.
But overall, it was an enjoyable and completely watchable experience.
Absolutely. Don't let the internet taint your expectation of this movie. It was perfectly fine for me. I thought it was pretty good.
Absolutely. So if we jump right into the plot of this, it's basically the original plot.
Yeah.
A team of oddball scientists and failed professors team up to create a team that hunts ghosts.
Yeah, hunt the paranormal in New York City.
Right, and the first thing I noticed right off the bat is that all the original Ghostbusters have their counterparts in this movie.
Yeah, it's
Harold Ramis, you have Kate McKinnon.
Right, as Gillian Holtzman, you have the oddball scientist, the goofy one, basically.
Right. Melissa McCarthy, Dan Aykroyd.
Right.
Kristen Wiig, Bill Murray. I mean, it's like
exactly. Ernie Hudson, you have Leslie Jones. It's all there. You can see the strings that are attached to each character. That being said, I still like everyone.
Right, it was really cool, and I think the strongest thing about this movie is the chemistry between the four.
Yeah.
They work really well together. Most of their humor hits, I would say. Yeah. Every now and then there's something where it's like, oh, they're trying too hard.
Right.
That was kind of painfully unfunny.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I definitely had those moments where I looked at you, waiting for you to meet my
I
eyes.
just like, I think it was the first 20 minutes that it kind of...
I'm not even that. I think it was just dispersed throughout the movie. There were a few times, but I actually thought the movie had a pretty strong opening. You looked at me and said, "This is just Ghostbusters. Wow, this is shameless."
Yeah.
And actually, me, having not watched Ghostbusters in a very long time, I didn't recognize
It's pretty much a complete rip-off from the first one.
I still enjoyed it. Still enjoyed it very much.
It was cool. But I have to say, my favorite cast member of the entire movie.
You love it.
And I don't mean to sound misogynistic or anything.
It's not.
Chris Hemsworth was fantastic.
I agree with you,
As the stupid receptionist.
Absolutely. I don't know what it was, but he was just very, not deadpan, but so unaware of his intelligence that it's perfect.
It was great, though. It was so funny. I think the banter between him and Melissa McCarthy in particular is great. It's just like, Kevin,
sweetie.
Kevin, no.
Sweetie, answer the phone, Kevin.
It was great. Another thing I want to go ahead and touch up on is we saw this in 3D.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's worth seeing in 3D. I don't think that it's really worth the extra money. I felt that a lot of the 3D effects were really cheap, and instead of actually popping off the screen, it just kind of popped out of the letterbox ratio.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I have to say that only happened, I think, for the first half of the film, And once you get into the third act, I personally think it's completely worth it.
Yeah, the end, it was really cool. There's
Absolutely.
a lot of great effects. I think I wanted a little bit more of that throughout the movie.
Sure.
I think Kate McKinnon has the best.
I looked at you and said, that was it. That was awesome.
That was cool, and that's what I wanted the entire movie to be like. Unfortunately, I felt that I didn't get as much as that as I'd like.
Sure, yeah.
But overall, it was fun. It was enjoyable. Now, the last thing I want to touch up on is there's some really good cameos in this.
Yeah,
I was happy to see.
Like I said, I haven't watched the original Ghostbusters in a very long time. That being said, I can still pick up on basically 90% of all the references and the cameos.
Right.
There was like maybe one or two that missed me just because I hadn't watched it yesterday. But still, it was nice to see, the original Ghostbusters as they are now in this universe, and I like that.
Of course. Now, really quickly, just spoiler alert, I want to kind of bring these up because these are cool, and I want to talk about them now.
All right, spoiler now.
So, I'm going to go ahead and just explain to you all the different cameos. Number one, Bill Murray
as
the skeptic,
as the paranormal debunker.
And that was cool. I love to see him. And I'm not sure if he died in the movie, but like some pterodactyl thing basically dragged him and threw him out of a window, and it's never confirmed whether he's alive or dead. Then you also had Dan Aykroyd, which I think is my personal favorite.
As the cab driver who subtly slips in there. I am afraid no ghost. That was perfect. That was great.
It wasn't forced. It was just like
no. And actually, I have to say that for a lot of the subtle hints towards the Ghostbusters universe, or the reasons they became Ghostbusters, it's very subtle. Yeah. It wasn't very obtuse or obstructive towards the whole plot or anything, but it was very subtle and it builds its way there. It doesn't just crash and burn.
Now you also have the original receptionist at a different hotel, basically playing the same role.
Annie Potts is another receptionist. Exactly. I think that's so funny.
She's super cool. And then of course we have Sigourney Weaver, which this one was kind of weird to me, but I was okay with it.
Was that in the end credits or
this is in the after credits scene.
Stay for the after credits.
There's a lot of stuff here.
Stay for the after credits.
Sigourney Weaver plays a scientist, and she's basically Kate McKinnon's
mentor.
Yeah. And she makes some remarks about, hey, but girls don't use safety meters.
Girls don't use safety meters. High five.
Yeah, and then of course another one of my favorites is Leslie Jones' uncle.
Yeah, which is Ernie Hudson.
And man, it was so cool to see Ernie back. And that dude doesn't seem like he aged a day.
No,
it's like he looked exactly like he did in 1980. And I'm just like, whoa. But the biggest one here, and this one is a definite, hey, Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
They're listening to the paranormal frequency radar, which basically just allows them to listen to sounds that come from the paranormal dimension.
Right.
And Leslie Jones takes off the headset, and she's like, hey guys, what's Zool?
Oh my god!
And I was just like,
Jonathan,
there we go.
I looked at you and I was freaking out because I was so excited.
Oh man, Zool! If they bring that back for Ghostbusters 2, I'll be very happy.
I hope they do it well.
And I really just want a very crazy Zool.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if Sacha Baron Cohen got attached to being.
Now
Zool.
You're making me more excited.
That would be great. So all in all, Ethan, we talked about how excited we were for Ghostbusters and some of the things we didn't like. Overall, it was a fun experience.
Right.
What are you going to give Ghostbusters?
I really like Ghostbusters. Going into it, I wasn't really sure what to make of it. The internet pinned it as dead on arrival. It would be a failure. Quite the contrary. I actually really like this Ghostbusters. The thing that worried me the most is whether or not I would find it funny. And throughout the entire experience, I only burst out laughing a couple times, mainly because of Chris Hemsworth a lot of the time. But the original cast not the original cast, but the new cast didn't make me laugh a ton. I mean, they basically made me chuckle throughout the entire experience, which is good. They managed to get me to there, but it wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. That's just one thing I thought about it. Something I didn't talk about was the looks of this movie, the visuals and the aesthetics all really scream Ghostbusters to me, and so it brought me back to the original Ghostbusters experience I had when I first watched it. So that was nice, but I really enjoyed Ghostbusters, the 2016 version, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Ethan, I really enjoyed Ghostbusters 2. I did feel like some of the humor was a little bit too heavy-handed. They were trying too hard, but most of it hit. Chris Hemsworth was fantastic, a lot better than I thought he'd be. And I really liked Leslie Jones. I love Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon. All of those people had great chemistry together on screen. Visually, the movie was really good. I thought that some of the 3D effects towards maybe, like you said, towards the first half could have been a little bit better. But overall, Ghostbusters was a really fun experience. Not as bad as people were calling
God,
it.
no.
Not at all.
If the idea of women being Ghostbusters just terrifies you, don't see this movie.
I mean, it's a fun movie. It's shameless fun. I'm not sure. I don't think it's... Alright, it's nowhere near as good as the original 1984 classic.
Sure.
But it's a fun popcorn flick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars.
Alright.
So guys, how did you like the review? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please make sure to let us know in the comments. Also, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We love your subscriptions. Please. We salivate.
We love it.
You can also buy really cool merchandise. We shove it in your face, so you need to start buying stuff now. You can get this at cafepress.com/Stubmasters. Alright guys, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Ethan.
Have a great day.